urban existence in the region of Kuwait dates back to more than 4,000 years as shown by the remains of the archaeological antiquities found in the area. This is due to Kuwait's unique position that render it a sea and a land link between parts of the Old World and a center for the unity and spreading of various civilizations. The state of Kuwait lies on the northeast coast of the Arabian Peninsula, bordered in the east by the Arabian Gulf, in the north by Iraq, and in the west and south by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The total area of Kuwait is about 18,000 square kilometers, and its population is about 2.5 million. The economic activities of Kuwaiti society in its early stages combined land and marine. The sons of this society dived into the deep seas in search for pearl wealth. They roved the seas on ships they made by their own hands and transported goods and traded between the ports of the Gulf, Africa, and the Indian coast. They reached Colombo, Bengal, and eastern Indian islands. The other aspect of the activities of the Society of Kuwait in its early stages was inland activities, in which big caravans carrying trade and passengers traveled to Damascus and Aleppo in the north. These land and maritime economic activities prior to the discovery of oil had far-reaching effects on the society of Kuwait and formed its orientation in its voyage of development. Solidarity, support, cooperation, joint work, the respect of promises and fulfilling them became a way of life. Hardship taught them the consultations is the safeguard and basis for the unity of society and its progress. Voyages at sea and journeys on land opened the doors for contacts with new and different communities and ideas. Kuwaitis acquired flexibility, open-mindedness, and acceptance of what is new and useful. On February 22, 1938, oil was discovered in abundant quantities in Kuwait soil, and in the year 1946, His Highness, the late Sheikh Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, exported the first cargo of crude oil. Following the flow of oil revenues after exportations of the first shipment and ongoing increase in exports since the early 1950s, the government has sought to promote the level of Kuwaitis through human development plans that were correlated with the promotion of education, health, housing, and social services. The political leadership realized the oil revenues represent the main means to achieve its goals regarding the modernization of Kuwait and the achievement of its social development objectives. Kuwait commenced a new era on the June 19, 1961, gaining its independence under the leadership of the late Sheikh Abdullah Al-Salim Al-Sabah. An industrial revival movement and marketability characterized this stage. National demand rate increased at its various levels. Governmental and personal expenditures rates were equally affected, which resulted in the initiation of investments in the industrial sector so as to cater for such an increasing demand. Furthermore, the percentage of immigrants increased while that of the citizens decreased to 55% of the population in 1957. In the same year, Kuwaitis represent 31% of the total labor force. Therefore, the Kuwaiti government gave top priority to expanding Kuwaitis' participations in the labor market. To strike a balance between supply and demand in the labor force, essential committees were formed in the early 1950s to set a large-scale training plan to qualify Kuwaitis in vocational and technical fields and bridge the gap in the technical labor force. In addition to the Centers for Vocational Training and Applied Institutes, oil companies established their own training centers to build a highly efficient technical national labor force. Kuwait Cabinet of Ministers issued an Order 33/2004 in its conducted meeting on August 22, 2004 to establish Kuwait Occupational Standard Assessment and Certification (KOSAC) organization. KOSAC consists of members from the Ministry of Social Affairs and Labor, Ministry of Planning, Civil Service Commission, Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kuwait University, and Public Authority for Applied Education and Training. This national project has been approved for a 5-year duration that will be renewable in the 5th year in order to reach its intended objectives. Each year a report is distributed to the other Gulf Cooperation Council GCC countries based on the recommendations issued on the 12th meeting of the Executive Office and the Mutual Cooperation Agreement attained among the GCC Ministers of Social Affairs and Labor.